Hello, welcome back to It's New. Barry Schwartz here with Greg Finn, the one and only Greg in PPC. There's no others. And Crystal is traveling. I think we're going to Brighton. And
Ooh.
Mordy is celebrating being Jewish on the New Year tonight, which starts soon in Israel. We'll be offline again. This show will not be broadcasting tomorrow, and I will schedule all future posts for the next Thursday and Friday. Everything else you see from me for the next couple of days will be scheduled and not live. Greg, what are you talking about today?
Microsoft is zigging with the new test, making ads more ad-like.
Nice. And I got the new big generative search experience rolling out. Google warning about JavaScript generated product markup, and the big Google Webmaster Report with some volatility news. So stay tuned. Yada, yada, yada. The big generative search experience, which we talked about several months ago back in July, which Bing was testing, is now starting to roll out to users, searchers in the US. Bing announced this at their big Microsoft Copilot AI event yesterday. With this, you'll see these queries pop up this big search generative experience for, I keep saying it's search generative experience, generative search experience. So Google had this SGE, which is search generative experience. Bing has big generative experience. Anyway, it's a whole big difference there. Although Google has renamed it AI overviews and so forth, and everybody's saying Bing is rolling out this generative search experience, which is Bing's answer to AI overviews. Who's making who dance now? Anyway, this is going to start to show up for informational queries according to Microsoft, including like how-to types of queries. And we covered this back in May. Not many changes there, but they have this new box at the top, a new carousel, which says Big Generative Experience, and it says explore generative search by clicking below to get optimized relevant answers. It's a different little experience. It's more graphical, a lot different than AI overviews. But the whole search interface itself is expanded and so forth. But I find this to be super interesting. Microsoft announced a ton of other AI news. I'm not sure if anybody saw that, but most of it was around Windows and recall and all this other stuff. So I'm not sure, Greg, if you have any thoughts on this, but it was pretty interesting news.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts, and it's live. I do use Bing. I try to use Bing. I have to stop doing it. It's like I need to just switch back. I've been trying to lead the cause. But the thing that is very strange to me is that the normal search results just are moved to the right, where they Google AI overviews. It says it's like an AI overview. This doesn't even say it's an AI overview with the Bing generative search experience, right? It just, the example is how long do elephants live? It just gives you an answer, again, it could be put glue on your pizza, but it's not disclaiming that, which is, I think, is strange because we've talked about in the past weeks, even imagery created by AI and all these different things is there. So I think that the actual moving of the search results into the right hand pane is going to be a big adjustment for people.
Yeah, it makes it look kind of secondary, like search is secondary to the search generative search experience, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, I found that interesting. But going back to what you said earlier, why do you feel like you need to switch back to the big monster?
I mean, honestly, I need to just go to Perplexity and use perplexity.ai. I think that's the one to use. I've gotten sick of Google and everything and try to lead the charge. And I try on Bing, and then a lot of times it's just not as good answers, especially looking for help documentation or hey, where do you find a ticket for Google ads? It's not as good as Google, on certain things like that. But yeah, I mean, and then for anybody that does get a lot of traffic from Bing itself, this will be really interesting to watch, especially if it's on any of those queries that are generating these AI overviews, essentially.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm watching a lot of comments and Search Engine Roundtable, specifically around those sites that were hit by the helpful content update, and they're like, all my traffic now comes from Bing. Now this is going to roll out, and all their traffic is going to come from where? Perplexity?
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo?
I mean, the nice thing is the citations and the sources are now essentially you are what would be placement one in the SERPs, right? You are right there underneath the overview, which is huge. And then it's just a strange format, because even that search that you had there about elephants, how long do elephants live, you now see 2 links to elephant guide is one of them. You see it right underneath the overview. You can get to it very easily from all the different citations on there. There's a lot of, I would say this is like the opposite of zero click searches, right? This is like, I can get to some of these resources in 1, 2, 3, 4 different locations. I could get to Elephant Guide, and you can go check it out over on Search Engine Roundtable.
It's a bit too much. I mean, again, I'm all for links, but Bing just always seems so messy to me. Like it just like threw everything at the wall. It's like, here you go.
It does seem messy. It seems it's a little bit overwhelming because you just don't know what to do. I mean, for a lot of these, there's probably going to be like no clicks, because of the kind of intent of the query when some of these will fire. But yeah, I mean, big shift moving those search results to the right.
You mentioned Perplexity. Android Authority had an article this morning about somebody. He switched to Perplexity for a nice amount of time to give it a try. And the bottom line, he said, is it's a bit overkill for simply navigating the web. Google's still the best choice, he said. They have their benefits by using Perplexity, but it's really just a tool. It's not a search feature, he said at this point. But I'd love to hear your thoughts after switching to it for the next few weeks or so. So keep us posted. Yeah,
and I think it might need to be Search GPT, except that guy's seems like a super villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm a nonprofit. I don't, testifying in front of Congress. Like, I don't own any of it. And then, all of a sudden, around 7%, it's for profit. I'm driving a car that's worth $4 million and using Scarlett Johansson's voice, allegedly without getting approval. Like, that's super villain stuff.
For-profit companies they're all evil. I mean, we have for-profit companies. We're evil, clearly. So, I mean, everybody's evil.
Not evil.
I'm just joking. The public ones are pretty evil. That being said, talking about evil, JavaScript is evil. No, I'm just joking. But Google posted an update to their JavaScript documentation on the search developer documentation section. Updated 2 documents. One is the merchant listings structured data documentation and the generated structured data with JavaScript documentation. Basically saying they recommend putting product markup in the initial HTML for the best results. Again, not use JavaScript, and making sure that your server can handle the increased traffic if you're generating product markup using JavaScript. The main issue is if your server is not fast enough and Googlebot doesn't get that JavaScript and it doesn't render the schema and the product markup, then it's not going to see it. This is something we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where you need to have fast response times for Googlebot when you're using JavaScript to generate structured data, schema, no index tags, or any other metadata. So keep that in mind. There's important clarification in that documentation. And then one other point is I posted the big Google Webmaster Report, the October 2024 Webmaster Report. If you were sleeping or taking off the whole entire month, it's a very good place to catch up. But one note that I didn't post anywhere else is that officially today, and Mordy Oberstein, who's missing from this podcast, but on the SERPs Up podcast mentioned it this morning, basically said that we finally hit the longest, most heated volatility period according to SEMrush data as of ever. The last time we had this was last year, July 2023 till September 2023, and today marks the 1 day longer period. A longer period of the actual volatility. So congratulations to everybody who's been surfing this wave on the SERPs Up podcast and the Google search results.
Is this here to stay? Do you think? Do you think we're going longer time frame on this? Like, what are your
thoughts? Know. Everybody's asking me what's going on. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think Google knows. I don't think anybody knows. It's the AI that's doing it all. So, but at least we have some new labels in Big Search, right?
Yes, and I am actually not a fan of these. You can go see them over on Search Engine Roundtable. Barry's got a good description of what they are currently. And Microsoft over on Bing has what I would say is the sneakiest ad label currently around, especially for anything search related. They have a very, very, very difficult to see kind of like light gray outline with the word ad currently. And because the word ad is so small, you barely see this thing. It's like, it is so minute to see ad right now. And most people that use Microsoft likely don't know that they're ads. And that's what makes Microsoft advertising work well, right? Like we were just going through a B2B client yesterday. Microsoft had the same conversion rate as Google ads, and the cost per click was almost a third in certain industries. And so we're shifting budget to Microsoft because we can get more clicks because people either don't know that they're ads, or they're very targeted B2B industry where they can't install Chrome or something on their computer. But this new test takes that ad and turns it into the word sponsored. So just by definition, it's not really changing the look of it. It might be a little bit darker color on the text, but it seems about the same to my eye. But it does make it a lot longer. So now you can really see it a lot more than just that little ad there. So what would this mean for you if you're running Microsoft ads and this goes through? People are probably going to be able to identify ads a lot easier. We've seen over the years that Google has changed from having that background color, and everybody's kind of minified the look of the sponsored labels there. So this could drop some click-through rates that you have for your ads. And maybe if you're on the organic side of things and this does roll out, you could see an uptick there of people like identifying ads easier and passing by them. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I want people clicking the ads.
You want people to be confused and tricked into clicking on ads.
No. People have a query. They go to a search engine for help, and I want to match up a perfect product that can help them satisfy their needs.
You should work for Google's PR department. I think you'd be perfect.
Yeah, right. I talk way too clearly. For them, they would say something like, well, the backbone of the internet is actually on ads. Did you know that 23% of people that clicked on a link liked the link, and actually with the same amount of conversions, it's better than organic?
That was actually a great Google PR personality. Any event, it's going to be a long 3 days for me. Everyone have a great few days. If you are Jewish and celebrating the new year, happy new year, healthy, successful, etc., all that type of stuff. For everybody else, I'll wish you a happy new year at the end of the year. Bye-bye, everybody. Back on Monday.